situation here in Arkansas, especially among black gay men. We'll try to get this video also uploaded to our website and probably to our blog site, so you can also go there and look at, or perhaps provide it for you maybe a DVD or something of that nature. The bottom line is that we want everyone to understand that the LA Corp is certainly in the forefront of the fight to deal with HIV and AIDS amongst black gay men and our general population as well. Our exercise today is to demonstrate to you vividly about what we feel is going on in our community. Because we have those technical difficulties, we're going to move really quickly with this, pretty much so. Do we have any questions that I can answer at this point about what you've heard so far? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Sharon, and I was trying to find out how may I get more information about the free testing, and also is this program only for gay men?
No, you can directly speak to me afterwards, and I can directly direct you to where you can get some actual free testing. And no, it is not just for gay men. We do testing across the board with anyone who needs to be tested. So no, it is not just for gay men.
Okay, and also, do you have any brochures and things?
Yes, we have information that we will be providing to anyone and everyone who may be needing it. Okay, but in the essence of time, we're going to be trying to move as quickly as possible. Any other questions?
Cornelius,
Yeah.
before we move on, let me tell everybody this. We are offering free HIV testing upstairs now.
Right now.
So on break or at lunch or whenever you have an opportunity, it's upstairs on the second floor. It is free, so make sure you take advantage of that.
Excellent. So you can do something about it right now if you need to, at least during lunch anyway. Any other questions right quick? Yes.
How soon you know the results of your test? Once you take the test, how long does it take you to find out?
It's 20 minutes. If you do the OraSure testing mouth test swab, it's about 20 minutes, and they'll give you results just that quick. Sure is. Okay. Since we had technical difficulties, I'm going to conclude those questions so we can move on with this, so we can try to stay on schedule. I know Ms. Conley likes to stay on schedule. So what I'm going to ask you to do now, pretty much so, if you look around at your chair and see if you have a blue piece of tape on your chair. Would you please stand for us? Okay, is that everybody? What we're illustrating here is that you individuals who are standing represent the new infections from 2011 in the black MSM community in Arkansas. These are the people that are affected. If we were all being tested, who are infected would be the people standing in this room. So take it, you're not infected, ma'am. I'm just, basically what we're doing is a representation. So take a look around the room and think how many individuals are standing in this room. This basically what we're saying, black MSM in the community of Arkansas, okay? Now, as the purpose of this exercise to really give you more impact, everyone who's standing, I'd like for you to follow Miss Levi out of the room, if you will. Everyone who is standing will just follow Miss Levi out of the room, and she will conclude the rest of the presentation there. Okay? As they exit the room, I want you to take a moment and look around. Look at all the empty chairs, even where people were not standing. What we're representing and illustrating that these are deaths. These are people who will be removed from the community. These are people who basically would disappear right around you. So take a moment and think about that. Who was sitting next to you? Look how empty your table is. Look how empty the room got relatively quickly. This is the impact in what we call the same gender-loving black gay community and our community in general. Right at this moment, if you look around, representative-wise, we're saying that black gay men represent about 16% of the population here in Arkansas, but also represent about 50% of the new cases. So think for a minute, if everybody who went out that room was the black gay men, that's what we're representing today. That's the point we're trying to make to you, for you to understand. Also, from the Living Affected Corporation, it's our premise and our contention that not only are they missing from the room, but they're impacted through poverty, through stigma, through homophobia, through prejudice, through sexism, and through many social determinants that are affecting individuals. So take a moment to digest that all those people are being kept outside of the room because of what the doctor talked about earlier as barriers. Sometimes those are barriers in their lives that they can't necessarily be in the community. So as you go about your daily walk today or throughout the rest of the week, think about how empty the room got, or your table got, or the person sitting next to you disappeared, possibly through isolation, possibly because of stigma, possibly because they've died. And what we're demonstrating to you today through this exercise is the impact that you may not realize is happening in this city and in this state. Ultimately, the doctor we heard earlier talked about those people who are not in the care continuum. We're very much alarmed about that. We know right now there are over 4,000 people, think about this, 4,000 people who are not in care. So what that means is there are 4,000 people who are not getting any drugs, no labs, no medicines. Those people are still amongst us. So as they return to the room, take a moment to realize that this is the exercise we want you to walk away with to understand the impact of HIV and AIDS in our community. We appreciate your patience with us through our technical difficulties. Again, we are the Living Affected Corporation. We hope that we can answer any questions they enter back into the room rather quickly as our time moves forward. Yeah. If you have any questions, real briefly, we'll take those written on cards real quickly if we need to. And pass them to us, and you can pass them to us afterwards. Is that what you want to do afterwards? Do we have any time left? Yeah, we have some time left, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, over here. Currently, we're really working on that. Actually, in our particular agency, we don't have a lot of influx of Latinos in that community, but we are very aware of the fact that we need to start offering, language competent material. We do know that that is a barrier, and that we hear about it continuously, and so we're going to really try to see what we can do as an agency to address that. We do know the Department of Health has some information in multi languages, I believe. So there is some material that you can access, and as an agency, we're going to try to work on some of that as well. You bet.
If you have a question, can you please raise your hand so we can get
Just so we get the mic to you. And it's not just questions for me. If you have questions for any of the panelists. Oh, right here.
I heard that Pine Bluff in particular have a higher rate. I heard that Pine Bluff, Arkansas, has a higher rate of HIV than a lot of cities. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. We have basically, we've gone through what we call our comprehensive plan, which is now the jurisdictional plan that is with the Arkansas Department of Health. In that plan, we have identified specific counties. And yes, Pine Bluff is among those counties with having high prevalence rates and incidence rates. So we recognize that. And the Department of Health is aware of that as well. Questions? You moved that rather quickly. Okay, right here. Hi. Wait for hit the microphone.
Hello, I'm Sharon.
Yes, Sharon.
Do you have some kind of program going on out there in Pine Bluff? I'm from Pine Bluff.
Well, we have Jefferson Comprehensive Care is also in Pine Bluff. I think our care also serves that area. They don't serve that area. Just Jefferson Comprehensive Care. They would be the people you could get in touch with, and we do have information for them that you can access.
Okay.
Sure. And again, it is gender neutral. It's not about whether you're a black gay man or a woman or whatever. You can go there and they can certainly help you with any information and testing and follow up, hopefully. Other questions? Okay. All right. And this will conclude my portion of today's presentation. I'm going to let the rest of the panelists take a few questions. And we really appreciate your attentiveness and certainly in our technical difficulties. Again, be sure we're going to try to get that video posted to our blog site and our websites. So be sure and look for those. We'll have, of course, brochures and things available at some point where you'll be able to find us where we are. Thank you very much.
How many black gay men that were infected with HIV in 2011 do we have in the room? Raise your hand. Oh no, I had a lot of people out in that hallway. Everyone that went out. Okay, how does it feel raising your hand saying that's who you are? How does that feel? Somebody tell me how.
Don't feel good. It makes me feel like I didn't care about myself because I was not protecting myself using my head at that moment. It was just for pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel neglected, because I don't feel needed. Like, when I was in here before, I felt like I fit in. And once I walked out and got the realization of what I actually was and who I actually am, I had to bring myself back in here. And it was everybody just started looking at me different. And I started feeling kind of like,
Wow. Yes, ma'am. You felt dirty. Wow.
We wasn't able to come in with the rest of the people we finished. We wasn't getting in.
because
To
when
be
we
a part
wanted
of
to,
it.
we had to wait until society accepted us to come.
What was blocking you from coming in? Okay.
Poverty, homophobia, and racism.
Wow. Linda?
When I walked in, the first thing I asked is, what do you guys think?
Isn't it odd to have a room full of people making plans about you without you? It's been LaCourbe's mission to get more black gay men at the table, but not just sitting at the table. We want to have them hired as peer specialists in AIDS service organizations. It only makes sense. Bruce, you were about to say something?
I'm in denial. I think I was misdiagnosed.
Many do, and they don't get treatment. It's about 60% of the population of those that are HIV infected are in denial and don't get treatment. And then we that were sitting in the room are in denial that they don't exist. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What was they saying about us?
Is anyone?
They were saying nothing about you. They were basically being educated about you, though, and what that feels like to be able to be outside of the room and not a part of society, as you said. And people each day sometimes feel that through isolation and through stigma. Just as you felt that, that's a real feeling that individuals who have HIV often feel, especially black women.
Yes, sir. Tell us about it.
First of all, how they let that happen to themselves, and it was like, that's a shame. Things like, I mean, before I became, I'm just gonna be honest, before I became educated on the community, I was against everything about it. I mean, you know, they taught me, don't be around me, and talk about that, and, you know, and I'm telling you, all I had to, like, you know, until I started becoming educated, started having a few meetings with, like, university. That's what, they're really good. You know, they're just like, you know, they just have their, you know, just so there's a lot of thoughts going on. You know, I'm not be honest with you, a lot of them are positive. You know, there are a lot more negative than positive. And a lot of it is because a lot of miseducation. You know, I'm miseducated, and now I'm still being educated. I told a couple of my guys who brought up here, I said, this is really a good thing because we need to be educated because the new community of individuals is keeping growing and growing and growing. You know, we may have this attitude about it. We are growing up. This is a lot of people.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking, glad I sat in the right chair.
Oh my God.
I've really been, this last 3 weeks, I've had 2 preceptors here from the United Arab Emirates. This gave me a perspective on how things are other places, how things are here in Arkansas. And one thing I'd like to say for sure is we definitely need to continue this type of education, because right now in the UAE, when people get diagnosed, they send them out of the country. So
That's right.
that's still going on now worldwide, and we just need to see what we do here so we don't go back.
I want to talk about the person who was in total denial with the That's true. When I was diagnosed, I refused to acknowledge that I had HIV.
That's common too.
Just to expound on what he was saying about the miseducation on the LGBT community. I've been a black gay man my whole life. You know what I mean? I've never tried to front and go get a woman and kids and all that kind of thing. But it's kind of hard when you're already dealing with racism and then you deal with racism and sexism within your own race. So now you have to fight 2 people. You know what I mean? I gotta fight the white man, white woman, whatever, and now I have to fight my own race. I gotta fight my religious leaders because they're telling me that I don't have value in my life. They're telling me, hey, you're going straight to hell. And that got me to thinking, I don't think God ever said that. If you look at, if people want to be religious, and of course this is a conservative state, Jesus spreaded love. When he healed the blind man, he didn't ask him if he was gay first. You know what I mean? When the woman had the issue of blood, he didn't ask her if she was a lesbian first. He just saw the need and met it. And I feel like if we are more educated, then this community would benefit more. Like I said, these young men are dying at a higher rate in the South as they are in New York and places that are more accepting. You may not accept it, but respect it. Because we're human just like you. If I cut myself, I bleed just like you. You know what I mean? So this community is a forgotten community. And with religious leaders, we have to get into these churches and let them know that these are your choir members. These are the people that sit in your church every single day. And if you sit there and you tell them that they don't have value in their lives, that takes a little bit of them every single day. So they don't value themselves. Why would I value myself if nobody else values me? If I'm ostracized from my family, from my community, from my church, I'm not thinking about my sexual health. I'm thinking about this person who's going to love me for me. And if they want to have unprotected sex, that's love. But that's the mindset of a black gay man who doesn't have any support. I was lucky because I have support from my entire family. My dad is like my best friend. That's my rock. You know what I mean? But I just, like I said, I just wanted to expound on that, and I appreciate you, man, for that.
I have something. I have friends that are gay out, and we're like chatting 10 toes in the south. I mean, I see like, and I don't look at them as, I look at them as my friend, because gay is just a title that people chose to put out. But I get along with them better than I do with people. You know, I mean, I mean, when they first met me, they just was gung-ho, and I was gung-ho for them. I just don't look at it that way. It's just a title. But, me, myself, my life.
Bob?
I want to say one other analogy that came to me this morning as I was going to a regular show. Those folks who stepped out of the room, if they were diagnosed with initial cancer, just to start, you just discovered you had cancer, they'd be called back in, they'd be concerned, they'd have emotions, but somebody would grab onto them and say, come on, let's get you back to the doctor and let's get this taken care of. With HIV, we have over 4,000 positive Arkansans who have been told, if it goes to stage 4, who cares? Please care. Please get those folks in care.
I wanted to emphasize, I know that some of the visuals didn't come through right. We're talking about a state with 3 million people. 15.6 are black. 15.6% are black. That comes to about 450,000. Okay? Remember, I said 3 million. Now we're at 450,000. Now we cut that in half. We're at 225,000. Now we take 3% that are gay. We're at 6,000 people out of 3 million people. 40% of the infection. That is not good math. Not good math. 3 million. 6,000. 40% right here. That is what the visual should have said. Do you understand now why we push and push for this particular population? That is clear marginalization. Clear. Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel about helping or trying to encourage somebody to be tested or to be aware of what they're doing, how do you show your support to them in order to get them to be tested? Because I have a couple of gay friends and I love them to death, but it's like we just do our friendship, but we don't do you gay and you need to be tested. And with me is, well, you do what you do and handle your business, just be careful. But how do you stop and say, okay, have you been tested? Do you need a ride to be tested? How do you try to show support without feeling like you're judged?
You have to make that decision, and it's a scary decision because at times I had to just risk getting my behind whooped, okay? Just saying, dude, are you on your medication? 'Cause things weren't looking right. So I had to take that chance. It's not easy. It's not easy. We don't have all the answers for it. It was Bob first, then it was you, then it was you.
And I would just share with you that analogy that I gave for cancer. If I came up to you and I looked like I might have a cancer, would you even hesitate to say, hey, what's going on with you? You need to go see a doctor. You need to go get tested. With testing, okay, go get tested. Don't make it a thing. If you make it a thing, then it is a thing. I'm not nasty. Don't make me nasty.
I have a family member that had HIV for 20-something years. And he just is healthy. He's all outside. He takes med, but he's a healthy guy. And I don't look at him no different. If you got it, you know what I'm saying? I know, but I don't treat him no different from if I didn't know. I mean, I love him to death.
Right.
He's my family member.
Right.
But, you know, some people they look down on people that has it. And I don't understand that. I mean,
Some people that have it look down on people that have it. Newsflash.
I know that, but, you know, I look at it as just I just look at it like this. It's just a small form of cancer. That's the way I look at it.
It's just a chronic disease. That's all.
I know it. That's the way I look at it. You know, we all die from, we gotta die from something, you know? But that's all.
Okay. Yes, ma'am?
Okay, there's so much information people, I want to, ask a question. Okay, so, is this in summary, is it a lot of work? I'm from California, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's very open, you know, it's a different world. But here in Little Rock, in Arkansas, there's more people, the rate of people dying from HIV. Did you say that the rate of people dying from HIV is higher than other other cities and other states?
I don't have that particular data. What I stated was you had this tiny population that is highly impacted.
Okay.
40%. Well, I can tell you this: 40% of the AIDS deaths are African American, and we know that 15.6% of the population is African American. So that shows a disparity right there. What you're going to have is the similar categories that fall in line under that. We can work through them from under that. We have enough data now to pull back and say, hey, this is happening right here. Right now, thinking in my head, it was 259 people that were infected in 2011. More than likely, some say undetermined. I know that. Health Department will get me later. Probably 100 of those were black MSMs.
Okay, so it's just based on you just putting the information out there. It's not like it's not a higher rate. That's not known.
Ma'am, if it's 3 million people right here and it's 6,000 people right here, 100 of these, 20 of those, we have a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand the problem, but I understand the disparity. You're saying that you know we only have this many people, we have this many people dying. I'm just curious. Was it more people in this state than other states in the nation? Is it a higher percentage here? That's all.
No, it's not a higher percentage here. Wait a minute, Bob is saying yes, he's disagreeing.
I will beg to differ with you. There's a movie presentation called Deep South on the 29th at the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. The presentation of the film starts at 6 o'clock. There's a reception before then. You can find out some information about it. But the reason that they're presenting that film is because everything that you have heard here, the South has been ignored. That's why if you don't take care of the folks, if you've got over 4,000 folks who have HIV and they're still having sex back there, then that just continues growing. And it's in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, the South, North Carolina, South Carolina, Arkansas, And sadly enough, folks are dying in the San Francisco Bay Area also. I lost my nephew last year out of Malaya, right across the country. So, yeah, so this is an ongoing kind of issue. But yes, the South does have larger numbers than other areas.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. If you have additional questions, please write them down. We'll make sure they get routed. And we will also make sure that contact information for LA Corp, as well as future builders and other people who do testing and can provide you, information and guidance as far as where to either get tested or to look for additional services. LaCorp is an excellent choice. Future Builders, who is also the host of our program today, does testing and can make those same referrals. If you can't get a hold of either of those, if you contact the health department, Courtney Hampton, who is our HIV prevention manager, who's also here. Courtney, if you'll raise your hand, shyly over there. She's an excellent source of information, does a lot of training throughout the state where some of our organizations focus. They're not limited to the center of the state, but that's where a lot of their activities are. Courtney can connect you with other programs around the state as well. As I encouraged everybody earlier, please make sure that take advantage of networking while you're here. All of our speakers, all of our presenters are very open to questions and offering whatever information they can. There's no way that we can squeeze all of the information into one day and answer everybody's questions completely. So again, I go back and say, write down your questions, route them to me, identify the speakers, and we'll make sure that we try to follow up on whatever information we can provide. And before we take a quick break, I'd like to also present Deidre with a certificate of appreciation and a token of our appreciation. Thank you very much. Kevin. And Cornelius also. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Let's take a quick 10-minute break, get up, stretch.